Welcome back to the King Film Sports betting locks and predictions for college football week 3, but let's start with a recap of last week and let's get into week 2. So we started with all these games on this screen. We had Virginia Tech beating Purdue at home. They lost that one actually. Then Colorado beat Nebraska as we thought it would be a little closer than it was. Colorado ended up running away with that one. Then Oklahoma beats SMU handily there by 17 points, just about what the spread was at the time of recording that video. Cincinnati beats up on Pittsburgh, but a late comeback is not enough for Pitt, and they lose at home to Cincinnati, new Big 12 team there. Then Texas scores the great upset over Bama. I have Texas as my number 1 team by merit so far, as that win at Bama is one of the toughest you can get in all of college football. So both of the teams win on the road in that home and home there. Ewers and Texas are going to be powerful in the Big 12, and now I might have them as a favorite to get into the college football playoff. The bulk of their schedule is over with. That was probably their hardest game by far. UCLA wins easy over San Diego State, and Oklahoma State wins over Arizona State. And then here were our week 2 actual betting locks that we sent out to the Discord as a reminder. We only gave one for free out to the video, but let's go over them. So we had Kansas minus 3.5 against Illinois. They took care of business at home on the Friday night. NC State Notre Dame suffered a little lightning delay. Estime gets an 80-yard run right after. That does not hit. Notre Dame runs away with it against NC State there. Then a horrible beat in this Utah-Baylor game. We had plus 6.5. Some of you guys that got it on the Discord got it at plus 8 because the line moved a little after Blake Shapen was ruled indeed out. It went to plus 8 for a while. Utah ends up winning by 7 after a late touchdown where the running back didn't want to go in but was trying to leak out the clock, just ended up falling into the end zone. Don't know if he really wanted to score, but also Baylor's backup quarterback threw an interception right before that as they were driving to try and win the game with a field goal. So that was a horrible one there. Tulane just gets blown up. It was a close game, but Ole Miss runs away with it late. Miami beats Texas A&M outright. Tell your bookie to keep the points there. Iowa State does not cover in Farmageddon against Iowa. Iowa looked pretty good there. Then we have Oregon at Texas Tech, and this was a bad beat. Texas Tech down by 1, trying to drive, but Tyler Shugg throws the pick 6. Oregon wins by 8. Horrible beat there. Boise State narrowly covers after a back-and-forth game. They couldn't get the 2-point conversion, and then UCF special teams was great. Scores a game-winning field goal there. Washington State wins outright against Wisconsin to give Pac-12 a great victory. But Cal chokes against Auburn. They cover our 6.5, but they do not win outright in what could have been a transformational win for the program under Wilcox there. They have a nice run game, but Auburn ends up winning that one in a tough road environment. So let's look at the betting loss record. We went 5-5, so we lose 0.5 units to the juice, and we'll hope to bounce back this week. So once again, I'll be giving away one free betting lock. It won't be on this slide. It will be the next one, but let's get started with these slated games. Penn State at Illinois. This could be a tough game. I don't think Illinois is that good. Played close to Toledo, just got blown up by Kansas. They didn't look very impressive. I like Drew Aller, Penn State to win this one easy on the road. This one's an early game too. And LSU at Mississippi State. Mississippi State didn't look great against Arizona. They pretty much dominated that game. Arizona came back, and then a controversial call in overtime let Arizona down there. But I like Mississippi State to keep this one sort of close. I don't love LSU. They got the easy win last week, but we'll see what happens. I think Daniels and co on LSU will win, but I think Mississippi State can keep this one semi-close. Then I've got an upset outright. I like the fans to show up for Missouri. Missouri's not supposed to be the best team in the SEC this year. I like them to win it outright. They're like plus 6 here. Pretty good spot. I like Missouri at home here. We've got Louisville at Indiana, but this one's actually at the neutral site between both of these teams at Lucas Oil Stadium. I like Louisville to win that one there. They're favored by about 10. Then Wake Forest against Old Dominion. Wake Forest got a great win against Vanderbilt last week. Old Dominion got a win, but the week before they lost pretty handily at a poor Virginia Tech team. I think they can keep it sort of close. They beat Virginia Tech at home before. We'll see what happens here. It's one of these classic ACC teams on the road. Not really sure what they're doing playing at Old Dominion, but here we go. That should be a good game. Then we've got Iowa State at Ohio. I like Ohio to win this one outright. They lost that close one at San Diego State, but I like Ohio to win. What I saw from Iowa State, their offense is just horrible. Oklahoma on the road at Tulsa. These tickets are sky high in price, and I'm pretty sure it's just going to be Oklahoma fans flooding into Tulsa for this one. I like Oklahoma to win big. This spread is near 30. Minnesota at North Carolina. We like North Carolina here just to win. This one could be close. I like Minnesota. They're 2-0, barely beat Nebraska, but North Carolina, I'm not really sure how fraudulent they are. Went to double overtime with App State, but also beat South Carolina handily. We'll see what happens in this one. Should be a good game. We've got Northwestern Duke in the academic matchup, the second home and home, but Duke is just way better these days. Northwestern scored a close win over UTEP, but I like Duke there. Then we've got our second page, including our betting lock. Tulane at Southern Miss. Tulane suffered that poor loss, as I said, against Ole Miss. Didn't even have their starting quarterback. Had some fight in them, but a late turnover just made the score not seem that close. Southern Miss suffered a huge loss at FSU. I like Tulane to win this one in Hattiesburg. Then we've got Washington at Michigan State. This one has a little more storyline with it now that Mel Tucker is borderline gone on suspension. The spread moved a couple points to 16. I think Michigan State might be able to keep this one close here, but Washington, with that firepower on offense, will score points. It's whether Michigan State can score on Washington's defense. Washington's defense might not be good at all, but this will be their first decent test of the season. We've got Tennessee at Florida, and this is our lock of the week. Florida +8 at home against Tennessee. Tennessee did not take care of business as much as you would like them to last week. Took care of Virginia week 1. Florida took care of business after losing a tough road game at Utah. Florida could have played a lot better. I think they'll clean up the penalties and keep it close in the swamp. I don't think Florida will win. I think Tennessee will, but I think they'll keep it close enough to stay within this 8-point spread. Then we've got Purdue winning. Syracuse is slightly favored in this one, but I like Purdue to win. Bounce back after that loss to Virginia Tech. Syracuse hasn't really played anyone. Beat up Western Michigan, who's not a very good team. Pittsburgh, as we mentioned, lost against Cincinnati last week. I like West Virginia to win this one. This is one of West Virginia's 2 games against Pennsylvania teams. They already played Penn State, got wiped, but now this one's at home. Backyard brawl. We'll see what happens. I like West Virginia to win in Morgantown. Then we've got Wyoming, Texas. This one doesn't really have as much allure after Texas Tech lost, but Texas did win. If Wyoming can somehow win this one, it's a 30-point spread. They would probably be the number 1 team in the nation in my ranking after beating 2 Power 5 teams and 1 on the road here, but I think Texas is just going to wipe them out. Wyoming can't really use their 7,000 feet of altitude in this one in Austin in the heat. I like Texas to win this one at DKR handily after they just handled Bama last week. BYU at Arkansas, the second leg of this home and home. I like Arkansas to win. They're favored by about 10, and BYU will suffer their first blemish as a member of the Big 12. Fresno State, I like to win at A-State. Arizona State. Arizona State put up a pretty good fight against Oklahoma State, but I don't really like Arizona State that much this season. Fresno State already scored the road win at Purdue. This would be another great one for their resume and maybe making a New Year's Six bowl, but we'll see what happens there. Kansas, Nevada. Nevada just lost to FCS Idaho in a game they weren't even favored, but they got wiped out. Kansas is favored by 30 here in Reno. If Nevada had a semi-competent team, I'd probably take them with a betting lock, but they're so bad. Kansas is pretty good. He got back Daniels last week. He looked great scrambling around. They just beat Illinois. This will be an interesting road environment. I don't think there will be many fans. Kansas should run away with this one early. Then we have TCU at Houston. I like TCU to win this one in the first week of Big 12 action. We'll see if this one can bud into a rivalry in the future. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe and leave your predictions below.